A veteran homeschool mom once told me, you can have a clean house and you can have a great homeschool day. Those 2 days just can't be on the same day. Now, while I think there's a lot of truth to that, here are some tips that I have for shoring up that gap a little bit.
I'm Rian, Christ-following wife and stay-at-home mom to 4 sweet boys. I'm growing and learning how to glorify Christ as a wife, mom, homemaker, and teacher, so come and grow and learn with me. I am Mama on Mission.
So before I get into this, I just wanted to kind of fill you in on what to expect from this channel the next few months. I had planned to be on here more often than I have been. I've, not put out a video for a few weeks. But I also told you guys that I was just getting my priorities lined up, and that being a wife and a mom and a homemaker and an active part of my church has to come before Mama on Mission. This is something that I do as, yes, a ministry, but also a hobby. And so it's something that has to take the back burner when other things are very busy. And so we've had a lot going on at our church lately, and my kids have been in football. And so I just have not had the time to be here, and that's okay. That being said, you will not hear very much from me until maybe the beginning of the year. I'm not making any promises that far out because I don't know what'll happen at that point. But I do have for sure this video talking all about cleaning and routines and schedules. And then I hope to do a stocking collab video soon to let you know what's in my boys' Christmas stockings, and a Christmas gifts collab video so that you can get a bunch of ideas for Christmas maybe before you go Black Friday shopping. So those are the only things I'm really for sure doing. Now I'm going to kind of just use this space once I have time and have, something that I think will be valuable to you, whether that be homeschool or biblical womanhood related. I do hope to still share on here. I'm not leaving or anything, but I'm just going to give what I can give. So that is where I've been and where I plan to be the next few months. Now, back to keeping your home when you're homeschooling. And guys, there is a lot of mess involved in homeschooling. I didn't realize that before I started, but just the books and the papers and the supplies alone is just a lot. And then you add in the fact that you have kids home all day. They don't go away to eat breakfast or lunch usually, and everyone's home at dinner, and there's all the mess from those things. And then you're, just every day, people playing, people going outside, tracking in dirt, people using dishes. All of that kind of stuff just is kind of extra when you homeschool. So I used to have this thing where I felt like I had to have the school done and the house picked up and dinner started before my husband came home. I used to want to have it ready, but then I realized that was kind of stretching it. So I was like, well, at least it needs to be started. And I still have that goal loosely, but we had kind of a heart-to-heart, and we realized that, that's not going to happen every day, and that's okay. But it's all about finding balance, making sure that you showed up, that you put in your all for that day and what God had given you that day. And, sometimes that looks like a really nice, clean house, and sometimes it looks like a really full school day, and sometimes it looks like neither of those. But it's just about being faithful day to day. But here are some things that I do that help kind of keep the home and homeschool balance in check each day. So my big thing is routine. And forgive me for these shadows and stuff. I'm filming at a weird time of day, but it's the only time I could fit in to film. And with the sun setting earlier and stuff, things are just kind of thrown off in my lighting. But routine. I am a routine person. I like a schedule. I like task lists. I like to-dos. I like all those things. Now, those can obviously be to our detriment as homeschool moms because kids don't always adhere to those perfect little schedules we lay out. But I like to have certain times that I'm dedicating to school. I'm not going to mess with the house during these times, whether that's the same time every day or whether that's just kind of a flow to our day, but I like to have set times where this is our school time. We're not worried about the house. And vice versa. I like to have set times where this is where we are cleaning and we're not going to worry about school right now. And then I like to have set times where it's cooking time because everyone still has to be fed. But the thing is, that is for our full-on at-home homeschool day. Those days where we might have, a little bit of errands here and there, but we're home for a good solid chunk of the day. That's what our schedule looks like, and I love to adhere to that. This week, we only got to hit that once, and we'll maybe do it one more time. So maybe twice in a week. We had Bible study one day. I helped lead a Bible study at church. We had co-op one day. We had a big grocery order that we had to go pick up. We had to go to Costco, like all these things. So I just have to make the mindset that just because we don't get to do this perfect schedule doesn't mean the day is wasted or that we can't homeschool that day. For those days that we are busier, we have kind of a flow. Let's say we're going somewhere in the afternoon. Then I say, hey, we're going to work in this order until it's time to go, and we're going to work diligently, and we just follow our flow and try to get through as much as possible. Or vice versa, if it's in the morning, then we go and get our errand done in the morning, then we come home and pick up our flow then. So that means that sometimes we don't get to everything that day, but I've had to learn in my obsessive brain to make that okay. So routine is just that. It's a routine. It's not a rule. So I have to remember that every day, but it does help to keep things flowing. So the second thing I wanted to hit on is chores. Now, the way we do that is we have each month, everyone has an assigned area. By everyone, I mean my kids. Mom and dad are kind of the overseers, and we, obviously pick up a lot of slack here and there. But as far as the kids, I want them trained in all areas. And so I have 3 different zones. My baby doesn't really clean yet. He helps pick up toys. That's his job. But I have bathrooms, living areas, and kitchens. And so they just rotate. So every 3 months we start back over. And there are things that they have to do daily. There are things that they have to do weekly, and there are things that we do monthly. So the first Saturday of every month is like a deep dive into those areas. So we're getting the nitty and gritty stuff cleaned up. There are some things that are every other day. So like for instance, my son that vacuums for whatever month, you vacuum the upstairs one day, you vacuum the downstairs the next day. I wouldn't even have to vacuum that much other than we have a dog who sheds. So that's necessary. And then I always am just with the 5-year-old because he obviously can't just like take charge of some of those chores yet, especially the vacuum. It's a little unwieldy. So I am just standing with him, training him in those things, but I've already seen how he's grown in that. So let's say for a while, he would just watch me do certain things, right? Like a year ago, he was just watching me do certain things. And then I would give him kind of a little try, not expecting him to really do it. And then right now he's doing it to where maybe one week I kind of do it for him, remind him how it works. And then the next week he does it with supervision. So we're just in kind of this training process, but I just kind of walk through those with him because he still needs that hand holding. Okay, the sun is setting. I'm trying to get some of those shadows off my face. But then the third thing that I want to hit on is quick ups. That is what we have dubbed. Some people call them 10-minute tidies. We call them quick ups. So it is usually twice a day, usually at lunchtime, and then usually again at bedtime. We just stop what we're doing. We set 10-15-minute timer and we go to one area, all at the same area. And I just give everyone kind of like a zone or maybe a task. Like I'll tell my 5-year-old, okay, you have to go pick up all the Hot Wheels and all the Hot Wheels tracks. And then I tell one of my older sons, okay, you have to clean off all the couches and put away, everything that's on the couches. Another person, okay, you clean up the rug or whatever. Or sometimes it's just you start there and move around. I'll start here and move that way and we'll meet in the middle. But that is just a way to get that tidying done because like I said, having 4 boys in a house with 2 adults, 1 adult that is home all day with them, things just get messy. It's just a part of life. And so to have those designated times where we just kind of reset so that mama's brain isn't just like doing this is a really great way to just kind of stay on top of things without having to like, oh, you left a shoe out, go get it. Oh, you left a book, go get it. Instead, I can just say, okay, here in a little bit, we're all just gonna pitch in and clean it up so I don't have to worry about it right now. And the 4th thing is laundry. I hate talking about this one. But here a year or so ago, I just finally told my husband because the boys and I can be good for quite a while on clothes. He's kind of a guy, like he has his few pairs of jeans and he has his set things that he has to wear for work and all these things. And so he can run out of laundry pretty fast. And so I eventually just told him last year, I was just like, I need help in this area. Because for the longest time, I was just doing it. I was washing it and folding it, putting it away, all those things. And so a year ago, I just kept finding myself getting behind over and over and over again. And so finally I was just like, babe, I need help in this area. And he was like, oh, okay. And he gladly helped and stepped up. So we go back and forth. I know some people say do a load every morning. Some people just wait and do it all at the end of the week. We kind of do a hybrid. We tend to do most of our laundry on Saturdays. But if we know we're going to be busy one Saturday, or if we notice we're a little bit behind, we can throw in a load occasionally throughout the week too. But my husband and I just kind of divide and conquer. He typically washes and dries, and I typically put away, and we kind of tag team the folding. But here lately, he's been doing a lot more laundry because, like I said, our schedules have just been jam-packed lately. So I just really encourage divide and conquer. Get your kids in on it. My 2 older boys fold and put away all their own laundry. I'm not yet to letting them do their own laundry, like washing it and stuff. There's just been too many close calls with gum and crayons and all the things, but they do fold it and put it away themselves. And then even my 5-year-old, he doesn't fold very well, but he puts it away by himself. So definitely divide and conquer, and don't feel like you have to take laundry on all by yourself every time. And then the 5th thing that you have to kind of get a hold on when it comes to being a homemaker is the food. What do we do about the food? How do we feed all the people? And I cannot sing enough praises about a meal plan. And I know this is old news. I know a lot of people do it already, but I don't know how to cook without a meal plan. Now, of course, I could go whip something up, but it is so much less taxing when I just have a menu board that says, here's what we're eating. And I just take a little bit of time on Saturday night usually, and I just say, okay, what do we have? What kind of meals could I get from this? And what do we need to get from the store to actually turn that into a meal? And then I just plug it into the days knowing, okay, we're gonna be gone this night, or we have this night. And it just makes it so much easier to just see ahead of the time what we're having. And I don't have that decision fatigue or that, I don't know, just grab a pizza. Not to say we never have pizza, but I like having a plan. And then we also set cutoff times for meals. So if we are in the middle of school or in the middle of cleaning or in the middle of whatever, there are certain times when we just say, like I actually have timers that say we're stopping and we're worrying about food right now. That goes into that routine thing that I was telling you about. But I do that because what I was finding myself doing is we would be, just going at homeschool or whatever. And then all of a sudden one of my kids would be like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we'll blah, blah. And I would look and I'm like, oh, it's almost 2:00. No wonder you're hungry. You haven't had lunch yet. My boys have a 7:00 alarm. Sometimes they wake up before that, sometimes not. But they have to quickly get dressed and come up and make breakfast. That's their job every single day. So food is started at 7. Then I have an alarm that goes off at 12. That's when I drop what I'm doing and I help make lunch and they help me. And then I have a 4:30. That's when dinner needs to get started. No matter what I'm doing, I drop everything and I go and start on dinner. But those are kind of set around anchors anyway. Like I said, 7:00 is when my boys are getting up. 12:00 is typically when I'm finishing up our one-on-one subjects with my big boys anyway. And then 4:30 is after we've finished school and I've done a quick up and I've started on our chores. Then that's kind of a natural time to pause and start dinner anyway. All that to say, our house still gets messy and our school is not perfect by any means, but it really does help to have a doable plan and to follow it. And it really is hard to balance it all. But if you consider a routine, think about a plan for your chores, maybe throw in some of those quick ups that I was talking about, set up a laundry system, set up a food system of some sort, meal planning, preparation time, whatever that may be. Those should help you to have it all together-ish when it comes to homemaking and homeschooling in the same house. So what is something that has helped you keep your home while doing all the other mom activities? Let me know down below. And like I said, I will see you hopefully sooner, but if not, I will see you in November for my stocking video and my what I got my boys for Christmas video. So be sure to check back for those and I will talk to you next time. Bye.